Now, let's go back to the very beginning, the million-dollar question. What is a string and how do you create one? A string is any sequence of characters inside quotes. We have already seen this a lot. For example, when you look at our screen, we have got such string. Hello world. That's actually a string right there. Sorry, sometimes my pen takes time to activate. Hello world, that's a string. Name Python is another string. Remember, we did talk about the fact that single quotes are acceptable. Double quotes are acceptable. This is in Python, so when you go to other languages, take note how other languages deal with that. Each language has got its own rules. So syntax for Python accepts single and double quotes. We can then be able to detect the length of the string. The length of the string is detected by actually using a function or a method. This method is actually called length, or L-E-N, len, for shortening, because wow, who wanna write the whole word anyway? So we can then be able to just bring in and say print, but don't print the greeting, because if you just say print greeting, it'll print hello world. We already did that, nothing entertaining there. You can try it out. But we want now to print the length of the value contained in greeting. So it won't count the length of the word greeting. No, it'll count the length of the greeting itself, the value contained in the variable. Please make that make sense in your mind somehow. Greeting is the container. The value is hello world. When you say length of greeting, it counts the length of the value that is being contained in the variable called greeting. So it will then come here and start counting. It will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But it says it will get 13. Where is the 13th one? The space is also a character. So don't forget that. So it counts both the letters, the punctuations like the comma, and the space that is put between these words. And therefore, it comes to the answer 13. Feel free to pause and write that particular piece of the code and run it, and you'll see that that's exactly what happens. And then we come to the next line. It then says print the length of name. Name is saying our name is Python, the name of our programming language here. So it will come here and start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll see if you run this code, again, pause, you'll see that it will say 6. All right, of course, it doesn't count the outside quotes because those are actually what's defining what a string is, like so. Okay, now, again, every moment, take a moment to pause and write this in your, I've already shown you how to write that in your cells on the Colab application. Now we then go to the idea of indexing. Indexing is counting from 0. Remember, I did also mention that you need to count from 0. If you don't count from 0, things will go wrong. Let me just run this code first. So on typing this code, it's able then to run. When we run it, print the length of greeting. The length of greeting is 13. Print the length of name. The length of name is 6. As we saw, we count including the space. If I increase the space by 1, you see now it says 14 because I've just increased the space. If I continue increasing, it says 15, which could then be confusing because you will never know how much space is between these letters. And luckily for you, Colab at least does put those dots to give you some clue, but normally just put one space, which is what we normally use when you're typing. So that's the length of greeting. It's different from saying if I had removed this length, and please take note of the double brackets there. If I then just say print greeting, it then says hello world. If I then say print the length of greeting and put brackets there. Remember, a lot of people make the mistake of just saying brackets, L-E-N, brackets greeting. And that obviously will be a syntax error there because length also needs to close its bracket. Never forget that. Once you close both brackets, it's now able to write 13. I hope you can see the difference between printing greeting and printing the length of greeting. Greeting is hello world. Length of greeting is how many letters does greeting have. And by saying so, we're not saying the word greeting, we're saying what greeting contains. In this case, it contains hello world. Things would change if we also say greeting again. And we give it a different value. Remember, these are variables, so they can actually vary any time we want. So I can just give it another value. And to make things very easy for us, I'll just give it a value of E. Right, then I say run that. Now you see it says greeting is 1. It's because at this point greeting contained hello world. At this point hello world was overwritten by E. So now when I say print the print the length of greeting, it's now printing the last value that greeting contained. Think of this as containers because they are. Think of a container. Any container may be a water bottle. You can actually pour out all the water and put a juice inside it. When now I say bring me water, even if you bring me that water bottle, it's still a water bottle, but what it contains now is now the juice that you just put. That's exactly what's happening here. So first of all, it's water, hello world, and then we pour that out and put in a juice called E, and that's what we have. I hope that makes sense. Variables vary as the program continues to run. I'll remove that because that's not what we needed here, but I thought it was a very good idea to put it there. All right. Let me separate this with the lesson about the length. See you on the next one.